Assalamu alaikum and welcome to yet another lecture of Advanced Learning English Language. This is me, your course instructor Fadl SHAHBAZ Khan. Once again, welcome all my listeners and all my participants to this wonderful lecture number 57 and to be the second lecture of our week number 12. I welcome you all here with my open hand and open heart. And so, let's get down to the topic, shall we? Well, I thought I should bring you something so unique, something so different, something more provocative, a bit thoughtful on the other end. I thought the time has arrived where we would like to learn how to behave professionally. We've learned a lot of things in the beginning. We have learned the ways to share opinions. We have learned how we could probably be, commenting on someone's attitude and etc. and so many other things like these. I've got so many lectures already given to you, but this time this lecture plays the major part, even at the same time revising the portions that I once gave you in the past. So today's lecture shall serve you something related to business. Do you also want to sound business like? I guess everybody wants to. Everybody does. So let's jump into the topic. Let's imagine a situation. There is an office, and a person who's a worker works in their 9 to 5, you can even say dawn to dusk, and all of a sudden gets in the office, unfortunately a bit late, and he more unfortunately happens to find his boss coming towards him, and suddenly he asks him, "Man, it's been a custom, isn't it?" That's the sentence of the boss. "Man, it's been a custom, isn't it?" Now he tries to taunt you, or that particular person, that worker. He tries to do the same, the taunting. That the worker understands, and suddenly responds very shamefully and very shyfully. "Sir, I beg your pardon, and would never want to let you feel the same thing again." Now, let me just repeat my sentences I've just quoted. I beg your pardon. What did I just say? I'm going to collect such points and you are going to do the same. I just said, I beg your pardon. That's the first part of it. It in itself is a complete sentence, but I used it for my advantage, and one uses it for one's advantage. Again, coming back to the same portion. I beg your pardon, sir. I want not to be doing this again. Probably I said a different sentence. I have forgotten, and I'm replacing it with this one. I want not to be doing the same again. I want not to be bothering you ever again. Probably I want and I don't want you to be bothering ever again. One thing gets proved again before me right now after so long. I heard that from somebody, and he might have heard that somewhere written, found it written. That person once told me that it's rather more creative when you write things down somewhere, somehow, than that of speaking all the same. So this brings me once again to tell you into the same conclusion and into the same thought that English, okay, yes, while speaking a lot, listening a lot, comes straight into our hands. We learn a lot while speaking, but speaking gets more creativity and more balance once you get to write your words down on paper first. Before, once you do that prolifically well, these things automatically and dramatically reflect on your efforts, on the things that you speak about, on your passion of speaking. So try to be a good writer at the same time. This is what the point is. So I don't want you to be bothering ever again. Now that's the two portion of the answer spoken by that shameful, that shyful worker of the company and towards his boss. Now, had I not used the two sentences like this, what could I probably be using in a situation normally? Whenever I get to my university in the morning, and once I find even my head of depart speaking to me and speaking to anybody else's, and suddenly someone else replies him back. There are people I could always differentiate, keeping myself in as well. Only a few of us really understand, being the teachers of English communication and presentational skills and business communication ourselves. Only a few of us only understand the value of choosing appropriate words, a good set of words, while talking to the senior, while talking within the organization. You have to use creative words. You just don't bash around the way you do normally at your home, perhaps, or probably at your dining table or with your friends. No, you can't be bashing around like this. Even when you're in this institution, even when you're in with your immediate family, you need to be creative while choosing the words. You need to be smart. The normal scenario could be, sorry, please forgive me. Even the worker could have said the same. Sorry, please forgive me. I will not do this again. Sorry, please forgive me. That one sentence you've just heard, just compare that one to this one. I beg your pardon, sir. That sounds more formal, more business-like. Like in a business environment, you have to use, portions like these. I don't do this again. I will not do this again. Instead, I don't want you to be bothering ever again. Means he wants the boss not to come out again and not to show his efforts like this ever again, not to be in pain like this ever again. So that one sentence actually, medically acts well on the person listening. He gets, on one end he became rageous, extremely angry, but on the other end he became pretty much colder than ever before. So use smart words. That's one instance only, and I'll be using another. I shall use a different point right now. I'm going to remove this. Make sure you have written that. You will definitely do it all on your own as I do the removings. Now, I may have another situation like this. Probably I would say the two friends are talking. Normal situation. Let's take a very casual looking situation. Two friends are having conversation, and one of the friend suddenly tells the other and says, I just want to learn a lot of new tricks. I just want to learn a lot of new tricks. I repeat this. I just want to learn a lot of new tricks. Let's take one sentence at a time, shall we? This sentence, okay, it's a complete one. It has the meaning that one can understand quite comfortably and completely. But it doesn't still sound business-like. It doesn't. It really doesn't. And imagine the two friends are talking inside a prolific professional environment and in a building where they were actually given this audacity and privilege to talk about the business and to talk related to that, or relevant discussions could be made. There, if one says, I want to learn some business tactics. Probably I've changed a few more words right here in this one, but it's as same as the one I just spoke few minutes ago. I want to learn some new tactics. That's what I said. Instead of saying so pathetically simple, you could be saying, this. I wish to evolve more into professional attributes. I want to learn some more tactics. Instead, it could be done this way. It could be done in multiple other ways. It's not that you're going to use the same statement, but you know what? You may get a starter from this one. Like choosing smart words, like I said. I wish to evolve more into professional attributes. It does almost mean the same. May not be the same at the same time, but yes, it gives you the same chunk, it gives you the same flavor. Or even that can be converted this way, more smarter than this one. Could be written like, I wish to thrive the best probable way into better learning, or probably tactics. That's what I used and want to, and I feel I should be using this again. I wish to thrive the best probable way into better learning or into better tactics. It's all about enlarging these statements at the same time. Yeah, I would not lie to you. But at the same time, it needs to be apparent before the person in that prolific environment that you are actually the one to talk to. You're worthy enough to be talking to, and you're business like. So you want to write this one down, go ahead, and we'll have some more situations coming up, and giving you a few seconds from my end. Of course, I've got a lot of sentences coming on your way. This is one such unique lectures. I believe you're looking for some of the queries, and you're always open to this on the WhatsApp number you have, and you can always send your queries nice and straight to me so that those can be answered. And of course, on the spoken sessions, of course, you will be having this opportunity to talk to me and to have your says at the same time. So let's remove this up. I believe you have written that. Let's take another situation, and I get more and more of it. I do have in my mind at the same time, but that's what happens when a trainer teaches you. Yes, I am a trainer. You know that quite personally. I've spoken that about many times before today. But yes, I do want to remind you all the time. You can be the same. Now, another sentence. Let me just give you the straight comparison. Let's write a similar simple statement to convert it into the business like form. Let's find out. If there is a sentence, you have to work better, or at times hard. in order to let you understand things, you might not have understood things that I've just discussed before this sentence. So I better believe here to give you a few such simple statements that could easily be converted into some business-like forms. So here I get one for you. A similar statement can be for this particular easiest and non-business-like statement could be like, you must delve deep. You must delve deep. You must dive into depth. You must dive into depth. You must delve deep. Now, terminologies like these could simply work out magically for the listeners. Would become your favorite, and would become the person liking your company all the time. Would be looking for you. Where has he gone? I mean, I need to be around him because his company is enough for me to let me understand a few and some great number of words. That's what you do. And trust me, in Pakistan, not just in Pakistan, if you visit abroad, okay, you get to meet your nationality and the same guy from your country there, probably in while visiting abroad, and even you wonder, the person is Pakistani, he might come out and at least he can speak to me in Urdu. He might do so, but in the business environment, even he or she in that abroad or in a country of abroad in itself is overseas, would still choose to speak to you in English, and not just in English, but in a formal like one. So being formal on one end and being a business like is on the other end. These are apparently two ways, but they are always one. They must be treated one. So you have to be thinking things like these. So just removing it as to give you another. I'm just removing it, so make sure you've written that as I go down to another portion. Imagine there is a sentence. She can continue to do the same. Now, what same really is here, you don't have to comprehend. By this time around, it's just a sentence for you, and it goes like, she can continue to do the same. Anything can be the same. Now, that sentence in itself is quite meaningful yet again, and quite simple at the same time. But you cannot be using this around when you're in the professional life and when you're talking to your boss and etc. You will always be finding statements like these once getting spoken out of your tongue. Extremely weird. You would say that to yourself. What the hell have I said? It's pretty funny, isn't it? I mean, I never thought I would speak up this way, and I would ever utter sentences like this or like these. So, in order to avoid this happening, you again come up with some smart bunch of words. Words like, now try to be very choosy. You might be choosing something from your own end, and if you're getting it out from your mind right now, just spit it somewhere and write it down somewhere. Spit it here, I actually means not for you to really spit it in real, to just write it down in paper, on paper, and just even speak it up through voice note and to give it to me so that I can respond you back onto it. I'll be very happy if I receive such voice notes regarding the change of it. So let me give you the change myself. She can continue to do the same. It's very simple. Else we could say, she can move along. Check this one out. Her mere way. People would say merry way, would do also, of course, yes. She can move along her merry way. She can move along her only way. She can move along her mere way. Mere or merry, the both will do, but merry will do it better. I can understand that in British, moreover. So, try to understand what I've done. For words like continue, I used move along. I mean, it's not difficult to invent. You have got plenty of words even right now in your mentality, saved, preserved. The words that you got to see from the signboards, the words, the phrases that you once got to find from your internet, from your social media platforms. It's all saved in your intelligence. It's nowhere gone. But it's my duty to actually let you do so, to take those forgotten words from your mentality and intelligence coming out for your business like usage and for your advanced learning usage. Now for the word continue, I have used to move along. And what else I did? For the portion to do the same. What did I choose for that? I chose her merry way, her only way, her own way, her own way. Now that's what changes, what transpires you're working. Amazingly, isn't it? So this is what you can do simply. I've got another sentence for you. Just try to write this one down so that we can move on to get you something more, as we have a few more minutes to follow still. Students are writing at the moment, and so from my end I've given you a few seconds and I can move on now. Can I? Oh yes, I can. So here I remove this one and give you another. And remember, I can only give you a few. The more we could have while talking to each other in the spoken session, or through the voice notes, we can have great number of exemplary situations like these to be shared with and to be shared with each other. So now we have another. Well, now let's add some meaningless sections of the words. Like well doesn't have any meaning. It really doesn't. It is almost equivalent to the words like wow, or like yes, or like oh no. These are meaningless words. They are feeling or based on feelings and sensations, and that's what you use it for your spoken advantage. You want to look meaningful, you want to look full of life and full of emotions. Only that to show that, or any point of those, one of those, you would like to add words like those of the words that carry eventually no meanings and virtually no meanings. The word is well. I must go now. Now this is a door-to-door statement. I mean, what do I mean by the phrase door-to-door? It means extremely common. It's a door-to-door statement. It's very common statement. Okay, we use them in a normal scenario, like visiting a friend's house, and suddenly after spending a good number of minutes and probably hours also, we get tired of each other and try to walk back home, and one would say, well, I must go now. And the guests at your home visited your house and stayed up in for about probably 3 to 4 hours, and now there comes a time all the time for anyone to and everyone to leave out, so that the guests felt that they had to go out, and one of them would say, well, we must go now. Now the guest would definitely, if plural, would say we instead of I, but anyway goes. Point is, what if this very, very, very statement gets used in the professional level? Have you gotten anything in your mind? Do the pausing and answer. Oh, you might have tried really, really well, or you do have the phone, isn't it? You don't, do you? Yes, you do. Just give me the voice note right here, right now, so that I get to listen to it and I get you the reply back. However, let me be the one to do so before you and before everybody here, listeners to me, before the listeners. Now, I've got a professional environment. I have the same statement. My boss calls me into his office. I sit before him. We talk about multiple things, and suddenly there appears to come a time when the boss stops speaking, and I start wondering, why has he stopped? I mean, is the meeting over? As soon as I felt that, my boss starts speaking again. I become conscious and ready to pay attention to him yet again, once again, from the entire strength I carry in myself. Yet, suddenly he stops. And this time, not only I start wondering why he really does, why he really gets stopped, the time grows on and on. Like more of the minutes get spent. And the boss neither nods nor speaks. And I then finally get this audacity, get this bravery out of me to ask him. And I said the same sentence. Well, I must go now. That's what I can say. Probably may not be the same sentence, but probably any sentence like this. But can I say any sentence like this, or even this one? At this point of time, you must be the one to reply me. Please go ahead. Do the pausing and speak. No, you can't be serious. It can't happen like this. You can't say that in the business environment, in the office, where the environment itself, always is stiff and very much shyful, very much discouraging. The boss's office. What do? You use the same flavor and you use this. For the very first time, the business-like statement becomes more easier for the very first time. This is itself very easy, but what you get right now, what you're about to, is a lot easier. Now that's also meaningless, but you speak up that. That shows the kind of respect you still have for your boss. I need to move. Or sometimes you even say that I need to make a move. You might not find it a bit easier than the first one, but it is still a lot more formal and lot more easy to grab. You can't say that, well, I must leave now. You can't say that to your boss. But you can say that this way, having waited a lot. I need to make a move now, sir. Something like that. Add something at the end, like sir. That's how it goes. That's a business-like statement. So there are so many more ways you can use while speaking English smartly and to apparently look more business-like. I wouldn't say that in all the world that you should be using the same tricks all the time when you get to meet your friends, when you are in your, within your premises of your house, and when you are in family, when you are in your immediate family, your wife, your children. No, you can't do that there. You simply cannot, or else they start hating you. Today's lecture was all about how you can possibly sound businesslike, and to be like that, you have to be in any kind of professional environment. You can't be bashing around even these ways or sentences. You can't be using sentences these ways in your normal style of life. Just keep one thing in mind. A person always has two personalities. The first is personal. There you can be anyone, but can't be business-like. No, you cannot be. The other is professional. Oh, you must be. So that's what the lecture of today carries, and I hope you've enjoyed it, and I think you might have some great questions coming my way. So just don't hold your horses and go ahead and give me some voice notes so that I can respond to you back through my personal voice as well. So I, Fazal Shahbaz Khan, officially take your leave until we meet next time in the same week number 12 with lecture number 58. And in there, until we meet, it's goodbye.